Yep, and welcome back. This is Hour 3, the Wellness Hour of the host with the most, Michelle, and she's just arriving. This time, actually, I'm not the one late, she is.
But guess what? My printer was out of ink. I went to print off all the emails, and it was out of ink.
But then you got it fixed, and now you're all set.
Yeah, here I am. I got my earmuffs on.
That's good. Okay, well, we're all set. So, Michelle, I want you to tell us what's the most blessing thing that you've seen over the Christmas holiday? What's the greatest blessing?
The greatest blessing that I've seen over the Christmas holiday?
Yeah.
Matthew's. I'm going to see Matthew and my grandchildren, I guess. Let me see. You're taking me off guard. Let me think. A blessing. Gosh, every day is a blessing. Oh, I know what's a blessing. Oh, my gosh. Last night, it's a huge storm down here. Rain. I guess, how many inches? Like 18 inches? Somebody. It's just crazy. We're getting...
I don't think it's 18 inches, but it seems like it.
18, Mitzi told me.
No.
Someplace, yes.
So,
that's probably not
right. No. I would guess it's probably about 3 or 4 inches of rain, but we've had a lot more than we ever had in a couple of years.
Well, I'll tell you something. The bucket, did you notice we had a leak by the front door this morning? Right, I got up and I saw that, the leak, and I put down that bucket. And the bucket's right up to here, almost full.
Yeah, but remember, it's over probably a large area of the roof where it comes from a small leak, where one, tile has probably slipped.
I was going to count all the inches in the bucket.
That's not how many inches of rain. Yeah, you have to have a rainometer thing, a little thing that you sit outside that's like a square inch open to the top, and then it tells you what the actual rainfall is.
Okay, the pool is at the top. It's right at the very top, ready to overflow. What does that tell you? 4 inches?
It tells you something I've told you 5,000 times in the last 2 or 3 days. We're heading into a Maunder cooling period with the Ice Age.
I know, it's 2:30 in the morning.
Like that movie Ice Age Now, which, by the way, deteriorates. The last kids' movie one was manic. The people making it must have been on too many lines of cocaine.
2:30 in the morning, you're waking me up. Close your window. Because I love to have the window open. I love the cold.
It was too loud. It was waking me up.
But, yeah, it was a little loud up there. So I close your window. We're in an ice age. Gosh, you dream ice age. Anyways, that's a blessing because we need to fill the reservoirs here. And
we have roof water collection tanks
and we have our collections. Yes, 2 tanks.
We're preppers. We got backup power source, backup water source.
And the biggest blessing is my water bill. If I told you guys what my water bill is, you would, if you're in California, you'd move out.
Yeah.
Because it's horrendous. And that's the only thing that would make me move.
By the way, they also...
just a second. The only thing that would make me move would be a drought, here. If it
it's not going to. The next 75 to 90 years is going to be increased rainfall as it cools off.
Good. I hope it gets freezing.
Yeah, okay.
And I can leave my window open all the time.
So you got some questions. Let's go through them.
Oh, you're looking to see if I can get down to business.
Well, I know we have a lot of emails.
Print it off, Bill. How do you like that?
You got a fistful there.
Fistful.
That's good. That's good news.
Lots of handful.
Okay, a handful.
A fistful sounds like we're fighting.
No, you're not fighting. We're
we're
fighting the battle
against
disease using functional medicine, which includes surgery, medicine, herbology, toxicology, infectious disease, quantum biology, etc. Everything.
What was that?
That was for functional medicine. It includes everything, from surgery to herbology to quantum mechanics and quantum biology.
Well, the first announcement I'd like to make, hello everyone out there in wonderful land of America. We're all so happy. And we're so blessed, aren't we, to just even be alive is a blessing.
Right.
With the crazy world that we live in. I'm getting off in a rabbit trail like you. I'm just thinking, we live in a world where someone could press a button with a nuclear bomb and kill us all instantly. It's crazy.
Well, actually, I'll even make it simpler and more sarcastic.
What?
We live in a world where the outgoing president says that the Russians hacked and that's why Trump is president. Instead of leaving silently and leaving, and as Kelsey, our daughter, says, play nice.
Play nice.
The Obama's not playing nice.
Would you like an announcement to all you wonderful listeners of our Nutrimedical family? We are having a sale again at the New Year's, which will be December the 29th, and it'll go through till midnight, Tuesday the 3rd of January. And that will be our 7 for Heaven sale, because I've had a few people ask.
Yeah.
Money's tight, and people are just going to wait until the end. Not everybody, of course.
Yeah.
But if you can, you wait to the end of the month and get your wonderful, wonderful nutraceuticals from Nutrimedical and Dr. Bill.
Yeah, I sent out an interesting article to one of our gentlemen. God's hand grenade is his handle, right?
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, he's dealing with diabetes. And he first was wrestling with
Doug? Doug, I think.
Yeah, Doug. Anyway, his doctor was trying to convince him that Trulicity was the drug to take, was just the same as the nutraceuticals we were recommending.
Yes.
And, of course, he couldn't afford it because it was going to be $750 a month. So then he sent me information.
Trulicity is $750 a month?
A month, yeah. Then he said the drug plan would cover a thing called Bidurian. And I sent him information on Bidurian, which is exenatide, and it's got really an amazing list of really nasty side effects. Okay,
first of all, what is it for?
Diabetes. Bidurian is a exenatide, so it lowers insulin resistance, but also increases insulin output and so on. Mm-hmm. But it has nasty side effects like kidney failure, liver failure, etc. All those other things.
Really?
Yeah, all kinds of good stuff. And anyway, I sent him an article that was a recent one by Green Med Info that did a review of the actual literature, the medical literature, American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, JAMA, etc., Journal of Diabetology, that showed that the drug therapies have actually not only not decreased the deaths by cardiac events, but actually increased the rate of death due to things like congestive heart failure 47%, and increased the risk of hypoglycemic collapse by 30%, and other disorders. So it actually doesn't alter a lot of the causes of death due to diabetes. It actually increases them. So you want a nutraceutical approach is you have to lower insulin, lower glucagon, lower cortisol, increase free radical protection, because even if you lower the blood sugar, because remember, all you're doing when you lower hemoglobin A1C and blood sugar is you're just lowering one marker. It's like lowering somebody's blood pressure, but if their perfusion of their tissues is poor, they're going to stop thinking because their brain's not going to get it perfused. And it's not heart failure, it's blood vessel failure, and it's due to free radicals. So if you don't deal with the issues, which, by the way, the medical profession doesn't, they chase the numbers. They chase your blood sugar down, and they chase your hemoglobin A1C down, but they don't deal with the fact there's no free radical protection to your blood vessels. So eventually, your blood vessels fail and you die of congestive heart failure or some other complication like renal failure.
Stop. Do you remember, because you were with me, right behind me, in the kitchen, remember?
Right.
And his doctor called, and I picked up the phone. I don't know what Mitzi was doing or whatever, and I picked up the phone. Do you remember that?
I do.
And he was mad and said, this nutritional supplements. He was making all kinds of, not nice comments towards me, and what are we doing and all this other stuff. So I just told him, I said,
By the way, there are some safe drugs. I mean, like glucophage is safe, but most of these drugs are dangerous.
Do you remember the conversation?
Oh, yeah. You had a good talk with him,
yeah. Because I tried to... Actually, I think I pretty much hung up on it.
First off, I don't give drug advice. I just give drug information.
What are you going to do? Teach someone? I can't teach them to begin with. And, you can't...
Well, even if I take a specialist in diabetology, because remember I did research going back...
What?
Diabetology. It's subspecialty of endocrinology. And I get a diabetologist or an endocrinologist, and I start asking them questions. You get these incredible shrinking doctor. Because I can ask pointed questions that are based on real science and testing that they can do themselves to prove that what they think they know is not correct. For example, did you know that almost no endocrinologists measure reverse thyroid hormone?
Yeah.
And it's a standard test that's covered by LabCorp and Quest. But if you don't measure it, you have no idea about someone's thyroid status.
Well, in this particular doctor, I didn't put him through to you because it's just a waste of your time.
I'm not going to train someone who's ignorant. I mean, if I get a doctor who wants to learn,
he had a good attitude or something, but he had a bad attitude. Drugs.
Yeah. And if you don't get better on my drugs, well, call me when you go into renal failure.
Anyways, my dear, on a more positive note, rather than talking about the pharmaceutical industry out
there. Actually, they are farming, PHARM, all the people. They're like the sheep and cows moo. So they treat the people like they're being farmed. You like that?
Yeah, I do.
PHARM. They're farm animals to these doctors.
In their bank account. Especially pharmaceutical, the costs of drugs here compared to, say, Canada and elsewhere.
They're so expensive
up there. Hey, let's get on to something really exciting. How about we start off with a wonderful praise report from Lyle. Hey, Lyle, up there in Red Deer, Alberta, who's talking to me. I guess he takes his cardio bask, and he loves us and feels great. And other than, I thought it was interesting when I was talking to him, Bill.
Right.
Look at this.
Yeah, I have to take that off the screen.
Look
Go
over
ahead.
here.
Yeah.
You know, if we ever go live, everybody will see me like give you a crack to look at me. Because when I start talking, you start looking at the
No,
computer.
I had to take that off. That was
Hey,
Anne's.
all you women out there, you find your husbands aren't listening to you. Don't feel alone, because mine isn't either, even when I'm on a radio show.
I'm able to multitask, actually. I put back on the Nutrimedical page and took Anne's stuff off until I do her video after the show.
You know I like you to look at me when I'm talking. Okay?
Yeah, it just took a second. I can multitask. I have a split brain.
That's debatable.
Yeah.
Lyle from, I was telling you about Lyle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He does an interesting job. He goes up to Yellowknife in the summer, and they mine Canadian diamonds. Now, do you remember seeing on the cruise ship those Canadian diamonds?
Yeah, the diamond mine up there is the largest diamond mine on Earth, bigger than the ones in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Yeah.
South Africa.
So he goes all the way up there, and he said he was saying it was claustrophobic. I said, how can it be? And he said, because you can't go anywhere. I'm like, where they mine is 300 miles or kilometers, he says, from Yellowknife, even where they do the mining. But
so it's like it's super isolated.
I don't see how it'd be claustrophobic, though, because it's wide open.
Well, no,
I told him an elevator.
That's not the wrong term. It's basically a form of agoraphobia. You're in the middle of nowhere with no civilization within eyeshot or radio shot, whatever. You don't go and turn on your radio and say, hey, I want to listen to all the local radio stations. There isn't any.
Yeah. How often do you get to talk to someone that actually mines diamonds in way up in the Arctic?
Yeah.
Or is that the Arctic?
It's in the Arctic Circle.
Yellowknife is the Northwest Territories?
Yeah, my father's brother taught there for a while, Yellowknife. Heck of a place. He was a teacher.
Wow.
Whoa. Teaching the native people, native kids.
Cool. Chris from New Jersey wanted me to ask you today about gout. He would like to have a protocol for gout.
Gout is high uric acid levels. Pretty straightforward. Bio-LVR, 1 capsule 3 times a day, usually will get your uric acid down.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
And you can also take some. You can also
ever.
take some methyl to add to that if you need to. A sachet.
But you don't have to.
Sachet in the morning if you need to, and it'll give you methylation pathway. So it's a methyl pathway that's not working properly.
You almost said one thing.
Yeah, but that's if it doesn't break through with the bio-LVR, you can add some methyl.
Then just add.
That's it. Yeah.
Cool. Kevin from Georgia. His vision is blurring, Bill, in the center of his eye.
Right.
And his doctor says he has glaucoma.
Right.
What do you think? He wants to know. And what should he do?
Well, firstly, glaucoma can occur in high and low pressures. First thing you want to do is take cancer eye drops to reduce oxidative stress because there's increased risk of cataracts too.
Wait just a minute now. When you have blurring, is that glaucoma or is that from cataracts?
If you do a slit lamp exam, you can see if you got a central cataract or you've got glaucoma that's changed. Most of the time, it's not in your central vision. If you get glaucoma, it starts off in peripheral and it closes down. So when somebody says your central vision's going, it's not the correct diagnosis. It means it's probably a cataract, and as can't see eye drops will reverse it. Glaucoma, you want to do a retinogram and see what the retina's doing, and actually you can do this thing called a stick dot test with red dot on a little tongue depressor, and your color visual field will contract faster than your black and white visual field, and it's your peripheral vision that goes, not your central. The fovea is the last to go in glaucoma. That's why you can eventually get down to a keyhole where you can just see like a little tiny area in the front. And it's pretty good vision, but there's very little peripheral vision. Okay. Glaucoma basically is caused by blockage of the canals of Schlemm, of the what's called the edge or limbus of the iris, the part of the eye, the ciliary process. And the most common thing is there's actually an infection with mycobacteria and fungi, yeast. And it usually occurs in diabetics that have high mycobacteria content. And you can take...
so Can-C the best?
Can-C eye drops first, cell detox glutathione to reduce oxidative stress, Vision Max, and things for myelination of the optic nerve head can be like Neurogen and, as I mentioned, cell detox glutathione, along with the Vision Max. And that'll help protect your eye. The problem is right now that the current approach is just like latanoprost, which is okay. It increases prostaglandin production in the eye. It's a drug. You just take a drop in each eye when you go to bed. I don't believe the thesis that that you have to get the pressure down to zero, because 40% of people that have glaucoma have normal eye pressures. So it's not an eye pressure issue alone. It is the eye pressure thing is just a blockage of the canals of Schlemm, but the underlying process is more involved in that.
I just thought of something. This coming Friday, is going to be the 23rd. Are we doing a show? Because the 23rd, Christmas is Sunday. Are we doing a show this Friday? Will the board ops be there?
I would assume so, yeah.
They should be there,
Yeah,
right?
because we were going to have the Monday off. So, yeah, we
Okay.
won't have anything on Monday. But
All right,
I think
so we'll be here next Friday.
Yeah, we should be.
Like on the 23rd. And how about the one that comes, the same thing will be the next Friday, the one we'll be announcing the sale.
Yeah, we'll probably be around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For our Friday show.
Yeah.
So our Friday
By
shows
the way,
will stay the same.
believe it or not, even though it's a holiday, if you email me and you have health issues or a crisis or want me to call you back, I work 365. So even if I'm on a cruise, if you have something that's a crisis, just email me and I'll respond and email you back.
Yeah, you work the whole time. We just went for
I take
our
off on
weekend.
time every day, but I'm always available to help you. So if you have a crisis, just email me.
Okay, look, are you ready to get into the emails?
Yes, indeed.
That I finally got. Look how nice this printer worked. They're here. Look, that's
Oh,
great.
wow.
Ooh.
Nice. Fresh ink.
Fresh ink here. Let's hear first from Ken Bill from Yucca Valley here in California. Hi, Doc. I'm writing to thank you for saving my life physically, spiritually, and financially. In February, I'll be 65. June the 1st of this year, I went to the emergency room after working 75 14-hour days straight on the California primary elections. 8 days later, I was released with a diagnosis of dilated cardiomyopathy with a 15% heart function. The hospital called the next day to make sure I had my things in order. Not a good sign.
Things in order means getting ready to die, sucker.
I pray.
Getting ready to die, sucker.
What's with the sucker part?
Because that's what the attitude is not very nice. Usually they don't do it in a nice kind of, let's take you aside with a pastor and talk to you and hold your hand and say, I hope.
Do they tell you to do that in medical school, to say go home and get your things in order?
Yes, but you should do it in a little bit more reasonable fashion than just kind of say, hey, you're going to die, so you better, you got to do it a little bit more reasonably with people. Anyway, it's probably scared the hell out of them.
May I keep going?
Yeah.
That's nice of you, Bill. I prayed and was led to your radio show. I received a protocol and started around July the 1st. In 6 weeks, I was to start a 90 14-hour days straight general election work. Well, mission accomplished thanks to your protocol. I'll be sending you a QRMA test shortly to update my progress and adjust my protocol. Thank you. I think this could be classified a miracle, almost as big as a Trump victory. That's funny. He says a question. Sometimes my urine is very yellow and kind of smells strong, vitaminish. Is that just dollars going down the drain, or what is it?
It's dollars down the drain. Yeah, your body gets what it needs and it's going to dump the rest.
Yeah.
But it's also toxins coming up, because remember, when someone has, for example, dilated cardiomyopathy, and I want to explain this, and this is, by the way, for you cardiologists out there that think your knuckleheads know what causes heart failure. It's not. It's vessel failure. And I've got the non-Newtonian fluid dynamic equations in published literature in your own journals, which you don't read. The problem is that this man ended up with probably a diabetic complication, which is heart failure, and his vessels stopped working, which means it stopped metabolizing nitric oxide, stopped producing a dilatory peristaltic wave, and as we gave him nutraceuticals and restored his function, and he got extracorporeal counterpulsation therapy too, by the way, which also helps. It's a pulse that helps to retrain your vessels to start contracting in response to the shearing force of your heart contracting. And when he had that, he got recovery. So he went from 15% heart failure and then you're going to die, sucker, to, hey, I'm going to do a 90-day work my butt off, and this is impossible except it's a miracle. And you doctors out there need to get a life that nutraceuticals combined with a minimum of drugs and other treatments like extracorporeal counterpulsation and hyperbaric oxygen, which he also got, made a miraculous recovery on this man, and we can prove it.
Yeah, he got his QRMA right away.
Yeah, we do it all the time. We cure people with conditions that no one else can touch anywhere in the world, and I don't even see them. I just talk to them on the phone or their records.
The QRMA is on sale.
It is on sale.
20% off.
Go ahead, Mish. You got some more questions.
I was going to read a Bible verse. Of course, I'm getting lots of scriptures to do with Christmas, which we know that's not when Jesus really was born. Yeshua, was it? And a lot of people, Messianic believers, don't celebrate Christmas. I kind of, celebrate everything, don't I, Bill?
Anytime you can talk about Yeshua, Jesus, is good, even if it's not the right birthday.
So from the King James Version and Luke chapter 1, 26-28. And in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from God unto a city of Galilee named Nazareth to a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David. And the virgin's name was Mary. And the angel came in unto her and said, Hail, that thou art highly favored. The Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. I always found it interesting when, Bill, when you explained to me what a virgin really is.
It's one who's never had a baby before.
Yeah. That's what it really is. We checked it out.
Right. And their idea of virgin is not like the Vestal virgins of the whore temples of ancient Babylon,
Catholics.
where they were perpetually virgins, even if they're having sex for offerings to their gods.
That's correct, Bill. Thank you for that. I love the fact that you taught me that. Pam, Bill, our friend Pam up from the Chicago area, she's got another question for the Friday show. A friend of ours, age 75, who is also a Nutrimedical customer, will be having a total hip replacement in the coming months, usually minimally invasive procedure. I told him that he should be taking specific Nutrimedical products prior to and after surgery to speed up the recovery. So I'd like Dr. DEAGLE's recommendation on what those few products should be, and have a Merry Christmas, and hope you are staying warmer than us, as wind chills today are minus 22. Ouch.
Yeah, I think they live up in they live in Wisconsin, don't they?
No, I just said north of Chicago.
But there's also
that's our friends that
there's a place north of Chicago, though. This is
Pam
over.
and Lynn, do you remember?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so they're north of the big.
They're just north of the city.
Yeah, wow. City's dangerous. Big, dangerous city.
That's cold.
Yeah, anyway, so here's the facts. Number one, if I had the medical facts, most people are going to have a total replacement. They should see an invasive radiologist and have Highland put in their joint space because they have eburnation. Number two, if they've got decreased bone density on a DEXA scan, you can take nutraceuticals like a bone generator 6 after 45 minutes to a half hour after the largest meals. MyCell D3 Micro DD Full Vitamin K2 and Collagen Max and Her Majesty's Royal Jelly, and you can rebuild the collagen and recrystallize the bone, especially using technology like Lumen Photon or the micropulse. Most people do not need a total hip replacement. It's a big surgery and there's lots of complications. I've actually, before I graduated medical school, I did 20 total replacements myself, by hand, with a radiologist walking behind me whistling and singing. Okay, the orthopedic surgeon doctor that was in my school. And they call me Wild Bill because I kick aside the senior resident and I do the surgery. They got to understand there's horrible complications even if the surgery goes perfectly well. The problem is oftentimes the shaft of the femur is not strong enough so it can't withstand the appliance or it shatters. Number two, you get a chronic pain syndrome. Number three, the machining oils and the material causes a local reaction, so you get infection around the metaphysis or the pelvis itself. It actually breaks through the pelvic thing, the cup, or it wears down, or you ended up with fragments of the material actually enter the lymphatic system. So there's lots of complications.
Yeah.
For example, just in replacements for the knee, and this is 6 years ago, the published literature by Medicare was over 50,000 complications of major loss of limbs, like the lower limb extremity, or death caused just in people that had total knee replacements only with Medicare.
Wow.
In America, 50,000 plus cases.
Yeah.
So when you do a total knee replacement or a total hip replacement, you're going to put it in metastasis. There's no such thing as non-invasive surgery. That's like crazy. This is big surgery. You have to actually open the person's, whole pelvis up. You have to, basically you have to cut off the shaft of the femur. You have to remove and cauterize and tie off all the blood vessels. You have to actually then replace the head of the shaft of the femur with a metaphysis that's driven down into the core of the femur. You have to cement in a new metaphysis cap into the actual pelvis itself, and then you have to reinsert it, and you have to make sure that everything's tied together properly and make sure there's no low slope.
So to answer her question was, is there a specific product that you recommend before and after, if he's going to go get
bone generator, MyCell D3, Micro D2, Full Vitamin K2, and Collagen Max Mountain Red Velvet. Yeah, and then you'll rebuild the bone, because the biggest problem is that the bone's not strong enough to withstand. What? You know the word human. Do you know where it comes from?
What?
It's Welsh. And it comes from the Magna Carta.
Oh, I think you told me that 5,000 years ago, yes.
Yes, and by the way, the word hue means serpent man, because only the people who were the Baals actually owned property were considered human. The rest of the population were considered mansters, which were slowly changed over to monster, so that only humans, serpent men, could own property. So when they're saying, are you human or are you a dancer?
We're dancers, I guess.
We're dancers, because humans are serpent men. People like Obama and high-level Masons that run everything, they're humans, and we're mansters.
You want me to start talking about Masonic stuff and
your
friend Trump? You're pressing a button.
There's no one in high-level corporate or politics in any nation that's not involved with some secret order.
That's because this world is Satan's. It was, remember when Jesus was on the mountain with...
Either on the outside or surface of doing good or evil. So,
let it be.
We've talked about that with Leo Zagami and others, and we try to delve into it with our experts.
Terry, from his Gmail mobile. Is Alzheimer's a result of failing to eliminate the buildup of a virus? And do you recommend BrainMag?
Well, there's two separate questions. The first thing is that Alzheimer's disease is type 3 diabetes. When your astrocytes stop metabolizing the GLUT4 transporter, medium-chain triglycerides become the primary fuel for your astrocytes to create an action potential at a neural network. Mm-hmm. Number two, if your brain is under oxidative stress from peroxynitrate, then there's an increased risk of activating inactive viruses, many of them from old vaccines. Mm-hmm. So, for example, Cornell University about 5 years ago researched and found they could grow viruses from the brain tissue of 28% of people that died of Alzheimer's. So that whether you get the vaccine, say a measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, and you had an ancient, oncogenic virus present in the vaccine, which is in all of the vaccine, then it can activate in your brain because your brain tissue is inflamed. So that most people aren't aware of this, but the primary cause of Alzheimer's disease is diabetes of the brain.
Bill, do you remember when we were kids, we all got vaccinated? They vaccinated you in school.
Yeah, but they only had a small number of vaccines, so some of them were bad, like the MMR, which has an oncogenic virus in it from rhesus monkeys.
Do you remember that giving you the staple on your arm?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, those are the old polio vaccines.
What kind of vaccine was that?
That's a polio vaccine.
The one on the arm?
Yeah, the Salk vaccine.
Scab and falls off?
Yeah, the polio Salk, yeah.
That's a polio one?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, how many vaccines do you think they have in the pipeline, including ones to stop cancer and even change human behavior? 272. Yeah. That's the actual number, and it's increasing nearly every month.
So, what about, to answer his question about BrainMag? What's the protocol for Alzheimer's?
First, you want to protect the brain, so brain power, which is vinpocetine, Cognition Plus, BrainMag and Calm Mind to calm the brain down and stop seizure activity. Mm-hmm. Remyelination with Neurogen, right? Free radical protection with cell detox, glutathione, Nutrimedical, which stops free radicals, etc., and then remyelination with a neurogen. And then you want to restore cholinergic pathways with CDP choline, uridine monophosphate, and ultrathymine B1.
Now, you said the remyelination twice with neurogens.
Neurogen is really important. And you can actually monitor the brain function with several different studies that are quantitative studies. Mm-hmm. Quantitative electroencephalogram done by a PhD psychologist. A SPECT blood flow scan to show blood flow is more normalizing in the brain tissue. And you can do also deep brain studies with a positron emission tomography scan and look at demyelination with a T1 weighted MRI scan to see if the remyelin pathway is restoring to normal.
Sergio from Salinas, California. I would like to know when Cell Defense will come on sale. I forgot to order last time for the protocol for gallstones. Sergio, it's going to go on sale on December the 29th, right through to midnight, January the 3rd, and it'll be our 7 for Heaven, which is 7% off of everything.
Even previous sale prices.
All the products. Well, the thing is, a lot of people like to get the 3-packs because the 3-pack is already on sale, and then it's 7% on top of the sale price.
Plus free shipping.
Plus free shipping on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way,
that hits us big, Bill. Do you know shipping's gone up crazy? The minimum to ship to Canada now. Guess what it is? The minimum to ship.
$20?
It doesn't matter. No, listen to me. If it doesn't matter if it's one bottle.
I'm going to make a guess, ballpark guess, because you're the shipper. I'd say $20.
$24.95. If it's just one little.
That's why you want to order more than one.
Do you know why we try to keep it to 19? We used to try to keep it at 15, and when we send to Canada.
Well, that went up like a rocket about a year ago because it was a quarter of that.
But keep in mind, Canada, there's no free shipping to Canada. Trust me on that one. That's not going to happen.
The Banana Republic of Canada with the Banana Republic head there, Justin Trudeau.
Yes. Now, next bill is anonymous. Mm-hmm. My friend has turned vegan, and now her hair stopped growing and became thin and looks like she became thin, he should say, and looks like a liar. Good thing he's anonymous. Her face and her cheeks are hanging down, and her neckline has vanished and became multiple chins. How can she get her collagen level back up, or what does she need to eat as well in order to make her look like she did before going vegan?
Well, remember, all of our drinks are vegan. So if it's rice and pea protein, so the life support and ageless right off the bat. Number 2, Collagen Max and Her Majesty's Royal Jelly will restore her collagen. Those are the first 2 things. But she should get it in her drinks, and she should be adding those drinks between meals and so on, because she's wasting away. Yeah. And the problem is when people switch to weird diets, they often get nutrient deficiency. That's why even people losing weight, they'll often yo-yo, because the number of the nutrients they get is significantly lower than they should have. Although they've decreased their calories, which means they're going to lose weight, they also lose nutrition, which can promote cancer, heart disease, and yo-yo dieting. You lose lean body mass, which is why I tell people if they're on a diet to lose weight, take our Mega Muscles Power between meals so you keep your lean body mass. Because if you lose muscle mass, and this is what's really important for elderly people, your lean muscles actually converted to immunoglobulins to protect you from dying. So if you lose lean body mass, which is Mega Muscles will protect you against even if you're losing weight, you've got to protect your lean body mass, because if you're too skinny, you don't have anything to convert to immunoglobulins to protect you from dying. So that if you're elderly and you get super skinny and you get a serious illness like a pneumonia, you're going to die. Okay, even if you take antibiotics. So it's really important to make sure lean body mass, and you can do it simply with a little scoop of Mega Muscles a couple times a day between meals, and you mix it up with something like, say, Sports Energy Light or Brain Mag, which is a nice flavor, and you're going to protect your body from losing lean mass. You don't have to exercise. If you do exercise, you'll build up mass faster, but if you don't exercise, you'll just prevent lean body mass disappearance.
Next bill is Sebastian from the southern tip of Africa, he says. Dear Dr. DEAGLE, thanks for the Nutrimedical advice re-pancreatic counts the other day. But thank you so much more for your absolutely fascinating RBN talk on the role of resonant frequencies in nutrient movement and in gene expression, etc.
Right.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if cell phone and IT radio engineers were aware of, for instance, which Wi-Fi frequencies could enhance biological functions instead of them using ones that may have detrimental effects? And it just goes on to say, I can imagine, the good effects, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Well, if you're a bit of a home, electronic buff, you can actually take our resonant frequencies and broadcast it through our little broadcasting system through your Wi-Fi. So even though you're doing Wi-Fi, which, by the way, Wi-Fi is going to be tuned to the frequency of your computer, you can also broadcast these frequencies. And the way it works is it's called entrainment. I'll explain how entrainment works.
I don't like frequencies.
No, frequencies are going to affect you whether you like it or not. They did a research study.
No, but I'd never sit and have a frequency put into me or something.
You are right now, actually.
Why? Are you turning on that?
No, everywhere you are. There's smart meters, for example, our next door neighbor.
Stuff, I know that.
And dirty electricity.
I'm talking about...
You want healthy frequencies, and I'll tell you why. The telomere at the end of your chromosome sends a signal or frequency in biophotons to your cell membrane to allow the ion channels to let minerals in. Minerals are the primary thing that drives every enzyme. Every enzyme is a monoatomic superconductor form of a mineral that turns on the genes to make the enzyme or a structural protein. So without the minerals present in the cell and nucleoplasm, your genes don't get turned on to make the messenger RNA to make the enzyme.
Which is why I take my Minerals Plus.
Right, but the Minerals Plus and the other things are extremely important, but you want to get them into the cell. That's why Lumen Photon is helpful, and Micropulse, which are Schumann resonance.
Mine are getting in there all by themselves.
You're going to get a percentage, but you're going to get more in if you have healthy environment. For example, if you have a Wi-Fi network on at night, give an example of this: a Wi-Fi network on at night, which is disturbing your sleep, it's also disturbing health and healing capacity of your body, because toxic radiation, our scalar harmonic radiation, interferes with cell communication, and it will block your ion channels.
Well, you better be sure to turn off the Wi-Fi at night.
It's in Chris's room, so we have to turn it off.
There's one down the other end, too.
No, that won't get. That's not going to be far enough down.
Doesn't go far enough?
Yeah, you can actually shut it off from this end, too. You just turn off the internet. Pull the plug, and then there's no internet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next bill is Michael at LPTV in Moorhead, Kentucky. A lone holdout, almost independent local media. He said Something about you. Was he on the radio with you or something?
No, he was just trying to recruit me to actually pay to be on their station.
Oh, is that what he's? Is that what it's about? This whole thing is about the KU band. Don't we still have KU band at RBN?
I just found out from one of our listeners that there is someone is actually taking our show and putting it up on a satellite band. So you can get a satellite band radio and actually pick up our show in Republic Broadcasting, all of Republic Broadcasting show on satellite.
Okay.
Yeah. So. But the thing is that we're not going to pay for any radio station. In fact, it should be the opposite. They should pay us for our content because the information we provide is valuable, unique, and nobody else in the world in any language is providing it, period.
Next bill is Joe from Oklahoma. Dr. D, could you please explain on the air, I heard someone at a local radio station,
right,
supposedly an expert on foods and etc. Very popular, he says.
Right.
Anyway, today he was stating that monosodium glutamate was an all-natural substance with just salt and glutamic acid, and that it's a misnomer and misinformation that it can hurt you. He said,
oh, really?
He said, I've always read it was bad to eat for your health. Is it safe? He's asking you.
I'll give you the technical answer if you want me to blow this idiot away.
Yeah.
First off, monosodium glutamate is a natural toxin for the body. Unless you have the glutamate transferase enzyme, which basically white and other people that are non-Asian don't have. Right. So they can't traverse what's called the amide transfer for amino acids. You can't do it. Mm-hmm. And number two, it locks into what's called the NMDA receptor, so it puts your nervous system into overdrive. Yes. So it can cause insomnia. It can give sympathetic overdrive that can affect your heart and arrhythmias. Mm-hmm. It's toxic as hell. And for somebody to say that this is non-toxic, this person needs to shut the hell up. No, I'm angry about it because I'm really just surprised when people pretend they're an expert. Actually, my definition of an expert is someone who used to be able to urinate properly, but now they have prostate problems, so they're an ex-spurt. They can no longer urinate.
Oh, God.
But no, this person...
Maybe he's probably selling a bunch of stuff.
No. He's making a statement. There's almost 30 different versions of MSG, hydrogenized vegetable protein.
I hate MSG, you know that.
But it's in all kinds of forms, and it's under 29 different subtitle names. It's like, various names, for example.
Oh, yeah, watch out for yeast extract.
Hydrolyzed
yeast.
There's all kinds of names, and if you actually go on the internet and look up other names for MSG, you cannot toxically take this stuff in and think it's going to be good for your health. Anybody who says it's good, do not listen to anything else they say. They are an idiot.
That's
They're
why
dangerous.
it takes so long when I go for groceries, too, because I have to read every label, of stuff that's...
Well, American food is probably more toxic and more messed with than any other food on the planet. And there's basically 4 nations that have got monosodium. We have got what's called GMO food.
Another bad one.
Canada, the United States, Argentina, and Brazil.
Yeah. Guess what? Another bad one that I've never seen in Canada is high fructose corn syrup. That's a bad one down here.
Yeah, but there's 3 major plants that take the high fructose corn syrup, and they do it with a mercury alkali extraction. Mm-hmm. So all high fructose corn syrup gives you mercury poisoning.
Terrible.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Mercury,
yeah, I know,
which interferes with the neurotubulin subunit that connects your dendrites and your axons in your central nervous system and knocks off the units. So it actually truncates your synapses and your axons in your brain. So if anybody thinks it's a good idea to have, to have mercury, they're an idiot.
Kevin from Iowa. My neighbor lady is suffering from a rare disease called RSD. That's reflex sympathetic dystrophy.
Right.
Pain. And also has some digestive issues with food allergies. Is there a product or protocol out there that might alleviate her symptoms?
You got to think of the skin as a neurological organ. Mm-hmm. The neuroectoderm is your skin and your brain. Believe it or not, the largest neurological organ in your body is not your brain, it's your skin.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
And your skin, in fact, you can't even suffer pain unless you have skin. It's only when the skin grows back, and I found this when I was working in the 80s at a burn unit in Georgia, that if you don't have skin, because I've done research on pain for years, and I discovered the Langerhans gate, which is a gate like the movie Tron by Disney years ago, that where there's a little dermo-epidermal complex that controls your autonomic nervous system and the flow of information and frequencies to your deep organs. So whether you've got the Glisson's capsule of your liver that's painful because you've got an expanding tumor, or a broken bone, or cancer metastases, no pain can exist without skin. Now, the RSD is actually a skin neurological disorder. And the Langerhans gate actually in your skin is where you need to attack it. Not in your nervous system, or your dorsal root ganglion, or the ascending spinothalamic tracts, or the other parts. You have to work on the skin. So the first thing you want to do is topically apply DHA, pregnenolone, and curcumin 4 times a day. Number 2, you want to take things in the central nervous system to calm the seizure activity that occurs in the parts of the nervous system where there's overactivity and sympathetic overdrive. Because what's happening is the sympathetic nervous system is causing vasoconstriction, increased inflammation in the tissues because it causes tissue hypoxia, and also induces fibroblast adhesions between tissue planes. So people with RSD are more likely to get interfascial adhesions and nerve entrapment. So I'm going to put up a full protocol on RSD, but the main thing you're dealing with is you deal with the skin, use things like Brain Mag, Calm Mind, things that stop seizure activity such as, brain power, and you want to maintain what's called cholinergic pathways, because it's the imbalance of the neurotransmitters and the neurological input from the skin and these Langerhans gates in the skin to regulate pain and autonomic nervous system. So it's actually, believe it or not, a skin disorder. It's a neurological skin disorder that actually causes vasoconstriction. So you can see it on a digital thermogram. So when somebody says it's a brain disorder, it's primarily a skin disorder with central neurological effects that can affect the dorsal root ganglion and the ascending spinothalamic tracts and the paraspinal autonomic ganglia. So there's abnormal ganglia activity occurring along the paraspinal nervous system.
Roxanne from Texas, Bill. I'm 46 years old and I'm starting to develop problems. I'm a professional musician, Bill.
Right.
Who keeps getting practice-related injuries and creaky wrists, irritated nerves due to repetitive practicing. I never used to have that problem in my 20s. I used to practice 5 to 8 hours a day and can no longer do that. Is it carpal tunnel? I went to a sports therapist and he said it was an irritated nerve in my wrist, not carpal, but it rears its ugly head every time I try to practice.
There's 22 pinch points between the dorsal root ganglia in your brain and in the spinal cord, and a motor end plate. So it's more than one place where the nerve can get trapped. And you need to break those adhesions up with Inflamax. You need to do a lot of other. Yes, we're coming back, and you have some more questions. And
yeah, another question.
By the way, sometime if you'd like, after the show, I know that we have extra questions.
Answers.
We can do a quick video. You don't have to go on video, but we can actually put up even some of the questions on the screen.
Okay, Bill, we have questions here. Okay.
Go ahead. So I'm just offering.
Ask me that.
I'm doing that to put you on the spot
air.
so people will email or call you and say, hey, Dr. Deagle's idea is a good idea.
You can tell I don't listen to him off the air, so
but maybe they'll listen to the people calling you, because there was a funny comment here by somebody saying, I like when the lady's on, she slows things down so I can keep notes. Dr. Deagle talks too fast.
Comment somebody said. Who said?
They were saying, they put a funny handle on their name, but they like how you slow me down so they can actually take notes.
Yeah.
They can take notes.
Phil, I got to get this question in because I'm concerned for Roxanne. This is kind of an interesting and serious thing. It's she gets and I never heard of this, okay? Non-cancerous cysts that keep filling up with fluid and need draining on a yearly basis in her breasts.
Those are very common.
What is that?
They call them breast mice. They're actually benign cysts, and they're often caused by xenotoxins and caffeine. You'll see, for example, somebody who's a big coffee drinker, they get these breast mice. The way to deal with it's often tied with iodine.
What are you saying?
Breast mice.
M-I-C-E?
M-I-C-E. They call them breast mice. That's the term they call. Anyway, what happens is to stop them, because it can be painful, is our primary treatment is Nutrimedical, believe it or not. And the other is to take the catechins like Nutri-Defense, will help to heal and turn off the inflammation, and Cell Defense Plus. So breast mice basically primarily a iodine deficiency, because the gland tissue of the breast requires enough iodine to reverse the formation of benign cysts.
And I take my Nutridyne
every day.
Yeah,
Nutridyne's important. Yeah.
Every day. Okay, my dear. And a lot of other listeners out there. I can't forget that you're here too, and you take the Nutridyne, because that is still our number one. If you can't get anything, and by the way, one thing from Nutrimedical, that's my recommendation, number one, Nutridyne.
Yeah. By the way, we also have our NutriSilver, and I've heard that the source for Silver 100 is drying up. That the person that was making it.
Poor Jay.
And what's happening is ours is far more powerful anyway. So you switch over, get the good stuff, and we're the only one who makes it. Nobody else in there knows how to make it except for Dr. Bill.
Pray for Jay. Anyways,
Yeah.
Denise, she lives up in Redondo Beach,
Right.
Here in California. Attached are pictures of my mom's hands. You helped her a couple of years ago when she was here on vacation.
I talked about that, by the way, in the first hour.
Did you?
With
The
vesicular
doctors?
rash, and I recommended topically Nutrimedical and silver.
Let me finish reading this little thing, please.
Yeah.
The doctors in South Africa tell her it's shingles. Whatever they give her doesn't work, and the doctors can't help her. So it flares up and looks like water blisters. They break open and they burn and itch. Can you please help?
It's a vesicular rash, almost certainly a herpes-like virus. So you just put topical Nutrisilver and Nutridine on it, and also cover the areas afterward with DHEA pregnenolone and curcumin cream 4 times a day, and it'll go away.
Because you already saw the pictures.
Yeah, I did. In fact, I
gave that to you right away.
Yeah, I also responded, and I've talked about it in the first hour today, too.
Here we have Glenda from her iPhone. Oops.
Yeah, you got
Sorry,
30 seconds.
Glenda.
Go ahead. You can get it quick if you get the high points.
It's an ongoing tooth infection.
Use Nutrisilver, brush your teeth with that, and also with Jason toothpaste. Take orally Nutridine and Allison
She wants to know the Nutrisilver. She wants to know.
Nutrisilver, brush your teeth with it, 1 spray or 3 drops for 10 pounds body weight 4 times a day. It will take over the infection. Also get a pain x-ray to make sure there's no abscess. Go ahead.
Thank you, Bill, for a wonderful day. God bless everyone out there listening. We over here love you for being part of the Nutrimedical family.
And be a Nutrisanta so that you can actually get Nutrisilver and other great products to your friends and relatives and be their elf to make them well.
So we're going to be here all